Hello, this is Webkinz Fan CEG 1, and I'm going to be talking about what I did over another weekend, and I kind of consider a Thursday part of a weekend. So on Thursday, September 29th, I went to a church for keyboard lessons, so I sort of started to learn how to play the keyboard, but I think I'm going to skip this Thursday, and today is actually, I think, October 6th, so I am going to skip this keyboard lesson. Hopefully I'm there for the next keyboard lesson. So that's what I did on the 29th of September 29th. I went to a keyboard lesson, so I learned some basic things about the keyboard, like about chords and flats and sharps, and about where the C note key is. And the keys go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then they go back to A. So I learned like some basic things about the keyboard. Hopefully soon I get to learn more things about the keyboard. And also I learned about like octaves and stuff like that. So I hope I practice some of that stuff, hopefully, and I can learn how to play the keyboard one day. And on Friday we really did nothing because my uncle and his friend helped my dad move stuff out of an old lady's house because she went into a retirement home, and everything inside her house she actually gave to us for flea market stuff. So we're going to be able to sell all her stuff, and we get half of the money, and then my uncle gets the other half of the money. And also, my uncle's friend is really mad because he doesn't get any of the money, so we might have to split it 3 ways or something like that. So basically on Friday, everyone was pretty busy because they were able to empty out someone's house, and we're going to sell all her stuff as flea market stuff or garage sale stuff. And we actually got a new couch inside our living room, which came from this old lady's house. My brother Jonathan also got a couch, a chair, and an ottoman from this old lady's house. And they brought it to my brother, my sister-in-law, my 2 nieces. They brought it to their apartment on Saturday after we went to a party. And Saturday was October 1st, so October 1st is another day that I did something over the weekend. And that was we went to my second cousin's party, and she turned 1 year old. It was kind of an interesting building we went to, and it was called the Gosselin building, and it was in Aroma Park. And we are thinking about moving, and there was a nice house in Aroma Park that I think we actually passed on our way to the Gosselin building, where my second cousin had her first birthday. And I think probably when we passed that house, it's like an old Victorian house, I probably said, I wish I could move there, because usually whenever we go someplace, all the houses that we pass, I say to myself, I would like to move there, I would not like to move there. And I think that one Victorian house, I did want to move there. And it's actually a very interesting house because I got to see pictures of the inside of it. And it is like a foreclosure, so I think that people didn't pay their bills and they got kicked out. But it looks like people haven't lived there like in 30 or 40 years because they have old radiators, so they don't even have vents or heating or anything. Basically they have old radiators in this Aroma Park house. And one room has like stars on the ceiling. It's completely purple and yellow, and has a purple and yellow door, purple carpet, a yellow like board above the carpet. I don't know how to really say that. Alright, so it has a purple carpet, a yellow like siding above the carpet, a yellow radiator, and a purple ceiling with yellow stars on it, and a purple and yellow door. So it might have been someone who was like a fan of a purple and yellow sports team, or it probably is the bedroom of someone who just liked purple and yellow. And there was another room that was like a light blue, and it had Care Bears, and it had like mobiles, the things hanging from the ceiling of Care Bears. So I think it was probably a family that lived there, and they didn't pay their bills, and then they got kicked out probably 30 years ago. So I think this is like an old abandoned foreclosure house. So I wish we can get it. It's only like $55,000. So I wish we could move there, even though it only has 3 bedrooms, and it probably looks like a lot of things need repair, like there might not be good piping and stuff like that. So the piping might have to be redone, we might need to redo the heat, so it would really be a lot of hard work if we did move to that one house in Aroma Park. But it's a very wonderful looking house. It's big and blue and like an old Victorian house, so I wish we could move there. So the point is that we went to my second cousin's birthday party in the Aroma Park in the Gosselin building, and we passed this wonderful Victorian house, I think, and I probably said I wish I could move there when I passed the house, and then I found out it is for sale, and it's only $55,000. And there's also one in Odell, and I think we might move to that one too, because that one looks wonderful. That's called a colonial revival house, actually. There's all different kinds of houses, like ranches. Like right now I live in a ranch, and then there's a colonial revival, and there's a Victorian. So there's all different kinds of houses out there. And my favorite ones are probably colonial revivals and Victorians. So I definitely hope I can either move in a Victorian house or a colonial revival. Those are old. Colonial revivals are like from the 1850s to 1890s, and Victorian houses were most likely made like in 1905. So they're pretty old. Over a century. So they're like over 100 years old houses. So we had kind of a lot of fun at that birthday party. So a lot of people from our side of the family were there also, as well as people from the other side of the family. So in other words, people from my second cousin's father's side of the family are not from our side of the family, but people from my second cousin's mother's side of the family are my family members. So my nieces were there, my sister-in-law was there, my cousins were there. And it was interesting seeing everyone again. Mostly it was interesting seeing my cousin's grandma, and she gave me a hug. She called me a different person's name because she's kind of like 80 years old, so she doesn't really know people's names. So it's kind of funny to be called someone else's name. So it was kind of enjoyable. And there was a wonderful park there, and that's the reason why my niece wanted to get out of the Gosling building so much, because she wanted to play at the park. And I went with my nieces to look for frogs, and we didn't find any frogs. But the only reason why we even wanted to look for frogs is the last time we went to my cousin's birthday party, my nieces were able to find a frog because another one of my cousins found a frog, and I think he's used to finding frogs near his house. And then on Sunday, October 2nd, we went to a church in Crete, and we were not able to go to the youth group afterward, even though I wish we could have, because that would have been very enjoyable. But at this church, the preacher said everything, like every S that he said sounded like sh. So he talked about shin and salvation, and his wife was she, so he had a speech impediment. He talked like this. So that was kind of interesting. There were lots of interesting things that happened, definitely. And I think one day I'm going to write it all down, but sometimes it is hard to get back into writing, because I used to write everything, and now I'm not really writing much about everything that happens, but I wish I can get back into writing again. I wrote about some things like the Dollar Tree adventure that we had, looking for Webkinz, and the Wi-Fi adventure we had, going to restaurants and getting Wi-Fi. So I wrote about some things, but I hope I write about more things that happen. And that's about everything I did during the weekend. I'm just going to review it really quickly. So on Thursday, we went to a church for keyboard lessons, and then on Friday, there was just a lot of stuff going on because my dad, my uncle, and my uncle's friend were all emptying out an old lady's house, and we get to sell all her furniture and get money for it, like at flea markets and garage sales. So Friday was very busy and we didn't get to go anywhere. Saturday, we went to my second cousin Michaela's party, her 1 year old birthday party. So that was what we did on that day. And then afterward, my dad went to give my brother and my sister-in-law and my nieces new furniture that they got from the old lady's house on Friday. On Sunday, we went to a church, and then after church, we also couldn't go to the youth group because my dad had to bring my brother and nieces and sister-in-law bunk beds. They had to go and pick up bunk beds for them and bring it to their apartment. So I also didn't go anywhere in the evening because of that. And also my cousin came to mow the grass, so we weren't able to go anywhere later on in the evening because we needed to pay him to mow the grass. And also I think he cut some of the bushes, but not all the bushes. And it was kind of strange because he actually came to mow the grass at 6 o'clock at night. I'm surprised some people didn't complain about it, because I don't think anyone wants to hear a lawnmower at like 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night, because some people might actually go to sleep that early. Because that is kind of a really late time to mow the grass, I think. Like 6 o'clock at night, that's pretty late. So we had kind of a busy weekend, and I do kind of count Thursday as a weekend or weekend day. And just to review, Thursday was September 29th, Friday was September 30th, Saturday was October 1st, and Sunday was October 2nd. And right now it is October 6th, and I'm probably going to upload this a lot later than October 6th, because I just am not into uploading that much. But hopefully I get better at uploading things and stuff like that, even though no one really looks at my channel right now. Hopefully I get some people to look at my channel someday. But now I don't really have many people looking at my channel. So that's about it. And if you did like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. And goodbye.